If your washer won't turn on because there's a failure of a drain pump, it could report the error code E21 or it just won't run. In this video, I'm going to show you how to access the pump to replace it. The same technique's going to apply to the E84, E85, and E88 codes for the recirculation and concentrate wash pumps, which are located in the same area. I'm also going to show you how to deal with all of the things that would deal with the unit not draining. But before we start, make sure to verify it's the drain pump not working rather than the door switch or another device on the washer like the valves. I have a video on how to look at everything from the diagnostic perspective. Test 07 is for the door lock. Test 11 on these types of Electrolux washers is for drain and spin. And then 13 is for all the codes to make sure you know what is actually wrong with your washer. And if you get to this point and you know that it's a drain pump, before we take it apart, check the drain hose for obstructions, but also ensure that it's about 30 to 38 inches above the ground in your standpipe. Too high or too low could cause issues like siphoning, or it's just too high to where your drain pump can't push the water out and it has failed out. Also, make sure you are not using too much detergent, or using wrong non-HE type detergents would cause a suds lock on the drain hose. White vinegar or liquid fabric softener can work to purge the system of suds quickly if you want to try to get rid of the suds and just retry the washer before you get into it, tear it down. To begin the process of removing the drain pump, unplug the washing machine and remove the hoses from the washer as needed. When this is done, move the unit to an area that you can access the rear of the machine. Next, there are two Phillips screws on the back of the unit like you see here. Once you have both of these removed with a Phillips head screwdriver, pull the panel rearward to remove it. At the front of the washer, unplug this wire harness that goes to the control interface. As you see here, it's in the front left side looking from the rear. There are a few different ways to tackle this, but to take the front off to access the drain pump, you'll need to tilt the machine rearwards and take the screws off. At the bottom, there are 4. As a note, you could just bypass a lot of the video and access everything and replace it from the hole underneath, but my camera cannot show you where the screw locations are, and you do run the risk of opening up the hoses and water draining rearward into the motor control system in the back left corner of the machine. That's quite expensive if it damages it. I'm not going to risk that, but at least you can see where things are if you wanted to try that yourself. Going back to the machine with the 4 screws out, let's go to the next steps. Remove the dispenser from the dispenser housing by press the button on the rear of the unit and then pull it all the way out. Unscrew the 2 Phillips screws from the housing as you see here. The one on the far left holds the interface into the bulkhead. You do not need to remove it. Next, you need to remove the door lock. Take a screwdriver that's a Phillips head, remove the 2 screws as noted here on the lock. Once you have these 2 out, angle the left side of the housing and pull it out. Remove the wire harness like you see here. Use a flat-headed screwdriver to gently wedge in between the door boot spring and the gasket. Use the leverage to pry the spring out from where it's wedged. Don't stab the gasket and damage it while doing this. The next step is to remove the 3 screws that hold the top of the washing machine in place. Again, Phillips head screwdriver like you see here. Once you have those 3 screws out, it's time to start removing the door. With all the screws away, you need to lift the bulkhead up, then towards the front and slightly away from the unit. As you remove the door, there's going to be one interface harness that is hiding that can only be removed when the door is partially removed. It's a little bit annoying, but it needs removed like you see here with this first person perspective. Once the harness has been unplugged, continue to lift the washer bulkhead away from the machine, and now you have the front off. With that off, you can replace whatever you want to or access whatever you want for cleanout. The concentrate wash pump is on the left, the drain pump is on the right, and the recirculation pump is behind the drain pump. Here's a list of the codes, E21, E85, and E88 to replace whatever pump is needed. You also can access the drainage sump to clean it out. That can be kind of dicey depending on how large your hands and arms are. Alternatively, you could remove the bolts on the lower counterbalance. They take a 7/16 socket. That would give you much easier access to bypass the pumps to get to the sump filter. Or if you want to replace the pumps, it does make it a little bit easier if you take this off. If you don't want to take the balance off, you can use a socket wrench that's very small with a flexible head. This is the one I bought after the video because it would have made this a whole lot easier. I'll have a link for it. There are 3 pumps and there's a rubber hose tree that interconnects all of them. It's your choice on order of removal, but slowly work through the hoses that need removed depending on which pump you want to take out. Make sure that before you remove them, put a towel down for water or try to use a cup to drain. The drain pump does have a check valve on it that could slow down the water flowing out. I would suggest removing it first and try to drain as much water as you can before the other parts, but that is up to you. With the hose out of the way and the water drained, you can start removing any of the pumps that you want to. They all take a 5/16 screw. You can use a screwdriver if you've taken that counterbalance off, or you can use the small socket that's flexible to avoid potentially taking that balance off if you want to. The next hose would be the sump tree to the drain pump if or as needed. This was a first-person view of removing the hose clamp. It's a bit annoying, but once it's out of the way, you can have more room to remove any of the screws. You can lift up and out to remove the wire harnesses as needed. I did tilt the washer this way after everything's been drained to show you how it's done a little bit easier, I hope. But with the drain pump out, you can replace it or the concentrate wash pump or the recirc pump, or deal with the sump tree as needed. In regards to the sump, here's what you see if everything has been removed. You'll either use a Phillips head or a 5/16 screwdriver to loosen the clamp up on the sump, which I took out but didn't capture properly on camera. This is what the hose and filter look like from the inside. You may not have to replace the filter, but it can get clogged up like any other drain filter on a washing machine. You would have to wash the filter out and then remove any debris from the hose tree. There is a lip on the hose on the inside. You have to put the sump back on. You'll notice a notch near the rear of the hose that needs aligned with the rear of the tub to make sure that it gets installed properly. For replacement pumps on these types of Electrolux washers, I suggest using ERP. They sell the OEM pumps at a fraction of the Electrolux cost for the recirc and the concentrate pump. For the drain pump, they use the same OEM factory as the recirc and concentrate pumps, but not the OEM drain pump, which is Ascol. However, it's at half price. I'll include a link in the description for these pumps to buy them. It will help out the channel if you use the links. I would appreciate that. As a note here, there are different drain pumps for the different Electrolux models. The 500 and 600 series are like this pump we use here, and the 300 and 400 series don't have the recirculation or concentrate pumps, so it's a different model. I'm showing you on the screen what you're looking for, but I do have them both on our website. When it comes to the drain pumps, they go back in the same way. Install the wire harness first, snap the pump in once aligned, then install the screws as needed. Now, before you reinstall the hoses, I would check and make sure that you don't have any obstructions in any of these hoses anywhere. Make sure they're cleaned out, because if there's an obstruction, well, that could have caused the issue in the first place. But otherwise, begin to reinstall the hoses as needed. I didn't film the larger drain pump intake hose, but here's the video of the hose to the drain pump outflow. Once you have the pumps and the hoses back in that caused the error codes on the machine, you should basically be done. Let's go ahead and put it back together. To reinstall the bulkhead, there are 4 pegs, 2 on each side that you see here that the front of the washing machine is going to rest on. Make sure the door lock harness is in place, that you can thread it through the bulkhead. Then ensure that before you snap the front in place, that the interface harness is installed properly while you put this on. The next steps are kind of up to you in which order you want to go. You have to reinstall the 3 screws at the top of the unit, the 4 underneath the machine, then the 2 in the dispenser housing to the dispenser itself. You also have to put that door lock back in. You just simply plug the harness back in, thread it back from the left side to the right, then install the 2 screws. The door lock replacements on these machines are probably one of the easiest of any machine out there. Another step to this is putting the gasket wire back on. You need to first roll the rubber gasket around the lip of the washer, and it will rest inside the lip like you see here. If you have some difficulty here, using dish soap on the back of the gasket can make it a little bit smoother and easier if needed. For putting the gasket wire back on, I have videos on how to do this just with zip ties and a wrench, but for this video and for ease of use on me, I use a TSE1 spring tool. I have a link for it in the video. If you have to take the gasket on and off a lot, this is the easiest, most direct way to do it. There's nothing to it. You need to expand the spring at the top, then put the retainer wire around the lip of the gasket like you see here, and then that part is done. The last thing you need to do is install the wire harness back from the board to the front of the machine, and then test the machine with water and electricity. Replacing and checking the drain pump systems should have solved all the issues and you have a good washing machine. But let's say this didn't solve the issues. The last straw or test you could do is from the board to the pumps to see if the wire harness or the board is bad. I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but it is worth mentioning. If you want, you can take the screw out of the black control box, open it up, and it would allow you to test this with a multimeter. But to test the drain and other pumps, they're hiding behind the larger connections here. This is a slow process. You have to remove all these wires on the front. The valve, harness, and harness connector come out as an assembly. So if it feels like you ripped out the J8 connector, that's what happens. In order to check the drain pump or the other pumps, the connections you need to look at are the J4 and J31 pumps. You can unplug the connections here and use a multimeter to test the J4 white connectors when unplugged going to the pump. If you have the wires here unplugged, the drain pump should show between 13 and 18 ohms if you test for ohms resistance. The drain pump are the white wires. That would mean that you're testing from the board to the drain pump and you're not getting a signal to that brand new pump you put in. That would mean that the wire harness is bad. The recirculation pump is also on J4. It's black and black. It should test between 27 and 45 ohms. The concentrate pump is at J31 and is black and black. It would test between 27 and 45 ohms. Again, the wire harnesses need taken off the board to test. You could do live voltage testing, plugging everything back in and see if it's throwing a 120 volt signal, but that's a little bit advanced, but you can test it with the power on and all the plugs back in the board if you want. This is just simply a reference shot of testing the valves from an earlier video, but you get kind of an idea on how to test it with ohms resistance. Again, OL means either the harness or pump is bad, but if you're getting proper ohms and it still won't drain, then probably the board is bad and needs replaced. Really what happens often is a bad pump that gets damaged could damage the board, costing you both a new pump and board from my experience on some of these style washers. Now, I will have more videos out with diagnostic and testing on this machine, but I hope this shows you one of the most common things with the drain pump, how to get to it, replace it, and do some extra testing just in case you need it on these Electrolux style washers. If you have any other questions, let me know. Thanks.